to you, mga ka-learners. Teacher Angel here. Lines and angles are important to us. Everything around us are made up of lines and angles. Many real-life situations can be understood better and problems can be solved more easily if we know all about lines and angles. Do you know what lines and angles are? This module will tell you what a line is and the different types of lines. It will also tell you what an angle is and how an angle is measured as well as its different types. At the end of this module, you should be able to tell whether the given lines are parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular. Measure angles using a protractor. Draw an angle given its measure. Identify whether the given angle is acute, right, straight, or obtuse. And use Pythagorean theorem to solve problems involving angles. Let's first look at what a line is. For mathematicians, a line is defined as a straight or curved continuous extent of length without breaks. It goes on in two directions and are usually named after 2 points that it goes through. For example, we can call this line AB because it goes through points A and B. A pair of lines that go in the same direction are called parallel lines. In this case, line AB is parallel to line DC because they go in the same direction without meeting at any point. These lines can extend to infinity and they will never meet because they run parallel to each other. Intersecting lines, meanwhile, are lines that meet at a certain point called the point of intersection. A particular type of intersecting lines are perpendicular lines. These are lines that intersect to form right angles or a 90-degree angle at their point of intersection. We will look into these angles later on this module. To better understand these concepts, let's look at how we can apply them to everyday life. If you look at this map, you'll see lines everywhere. A simple way of looking at lines is to look at streets whenever you go out for a walk or run an errand. Let's say you live in this area. Can you see the lines that form from either side of Taft Avenue, T.M. Calo Street, and Ayala Boulevard? If we look at them individually, each side of the street forms a line. Taking both lines and not looking at other streets, we see that the lines on each side of the street run parallel to each other, making them parallel lines. The intersections between each street, like what you see at the corner of Taft Avenue and Ayala Boulevard, form intersecting lines. T.M. Calo Street and Taft Avenue, meanwhile, form a pair of perpendicular lines. You can even go smaller in scale and see this with everyday objects. Try and form pairs of parallel, intersecting, and perpendicular lines using objects like rulers, pencils, pens, or even sticks. Once you've done this, you will start seeing lines everywhere. Before we end this lesson, let's look back at what we learned. A line has arrows at both ends to show that it goes on and on toward both directions. It can be identified by using two capital letters. Parallel lines are a pair of lines that will never meet no matter how long they are extended. Intersecting lines are pairs of lines that meet at a certain point called the point of intersection. Perpendicular lines are pairs of lines that form right angles at their point of intersection. This marks the end of the lesson on lines and angles, mga ka-learners. Stay tuned for Lesson 2 when we look at identifying angles these lines form when they intersect.